How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today is the day. Today's a pretty interesting day for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ETFs. I want to explain why that is, the psychology behind Mondays, and why last week should make a very interesting day today for Bitcoin holders and Bitcoin buyers. I also want to cover some of the other top news in the market here today. Some stuff that you have to be watching out for over the next couple days. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Also, there's a link to Margex underneath the video in case you want to start trading cryptocurrency using leverage. You can use that link. They're doing a massive airdrop. You can make up to $5,000 in BOEM token with that link underneath the video. It just depends on how much you trade. There are about 10 more days where you can trade to get part of this airdrop. And I just placed along as well. As you can see, we're about halfway down between these two lines, these two trend lines that we've been seeing, maybe slightly below halfway. But it looks like we're getting to the end of the line. We're getting tighter and tighter on this trend. And I think we're going to see a bit of a breakout here soon. I could always be wrong. We could always break down. But with all the inflows that we've seen from the ETFs, I would not be surprised if we see a breakout above this line. Now, last week, Bitcoin ETFs consumed about 26,000 Bitcoin. It takes miners almost 2 months to create that new amount of Bitcoin supply, 717 more percent than the 3,150 weekly Bitcoin subsidy. Unsustainable. Okay, so we only have so much new Bitcoin hitting the market. Right now, these ETFs are buying from willing sellers. But eventually the sellers run out and people see, wow, the Bitcoin ETFs are swallowing up a lot. I bet you instead of selling to them right now, I can wait a couple weeks, a couple months, and the price is going to be higher. Now, personally, I think there are going to be some interesting things to watch today, specifically because last week we had so much Bitcoin being bought. And how I think about it is like the golf course conversations over the weekend. Okay, so anyone that has to do with these Bitcoin ETFs or anyone that's invested in these Bitcoin ETFs is probably going out on the golf course this weekend, talking to their friends saying, wow, did you see how much Bitcoin was being bought? Did you see the massive amount of inflows this week? Did you see the demand? Did you see all the hedge funds that were buying Bitcoin this week? Maybe you should also buy some Bitcoin. They're talking to their friends like, hey, I bought Bitcoin and I'm up 50, 60, 70% since I bought these ETFs a couple months ago. Is your guy getting you that amount? That amount of returns? No? Well, you should tell him to look into the Bitcoin ETFs, or you should come with my guy. And then you see that kind of fighting between financial advisors, hedge funds, where they're trying to outcompete each other for returns. And how do you get a 70% return? Bitcoin. Okay, maybe you're saying we need to buy NVIDIA or something like that. But what's got a better chance of getting really good returns from here? NVIDIA, which is at $1,200 or $1,100, is the world's biggest market cap or second biggest market cap for a company. Or Bitcoin. Like, what makes easier sense from here to go and double again? I think Bitcoin. And after this massive amount of inflows, again, I just think there are conversations being had. And what happens after the weekend conversations? Monday comes around and people make new positions. People say, I need to be in on these ETFs. We've been going sideways for a while, 3 months, and yet we continue to see more Bitcoin being bought. I think people are going to get antsy to get their hands on some Bitcoin here very soon, and that's going to be what shoots us up. Now, of course, we could always fall down. Right? If you just take the range that we've been in, the very bottom end of the range, around 56, and the top of the range around 74, we are closer to the high end of that range. But again, we can only stay here so long. We do have a couple big things happening in the economy this week too. We have CPI and PPI in 2 and 3 days from now. So maybe we get some excitement before this. Maybe that pushes us up above this line. Or maybe this is what pushes us up after the CPI and PPI come in. Maybe we break out because it's good news or it's bad news or something, right? Maybe maybe we see a big move finally taking us up to new all-time highs again. Now, we did close at the second highest weekly close ever. So keep that in mind. It's still bullish from that perspective. We're still closing higher. We're still moving up. I mean, if you just look at the weekly here, you move up a lot, you consolidate. You move up a lot, you consolidate. Probably another big move up here soon. Now, I have some more Bitcoin news. I have some more news on the market here in a second too, but first, BCC. Okay, now I found something really interesting recently, and some people are calling it like an epic crypto life hack. A way to use your crypto via a credit card. You can use this crypto called Black Card Coin without fees and without limits. You can use the card and you can stake the tokens, and immediately you get a virtual card and you can start making online purchases. A physical black card is sent to you in a few days, but there's no limit on your spending, and you can withdraw at an ATM with no limit, no fees on purchases, no international fees. There's a 5% deposit fee. So there's a 5% deposit fee. That fee goes to the BC coin stakers, just like you at that point. And then you'll get 10% back on purchases. And it pays out in their native token. The native token right now is around a $70 million market cap in terms of the circulating market cap. Fully diluted, it's like 2.5 billion. So this is like a pretty sizable project. And even if you've already used like Binance card or crypto.com card, maybe you want to use this because there's no fees and there's no limits like other cards. To stake, all you have to do is start by using USDT or USDC, depositing directly on the site. Then it's converted over to BC coin. You need to stake at least $1,000. Now, this is a partner of the channel. It's one that I've been watching for a couple weeks here and doing some research on. It's interesting to me. I may be getting a card here soon. Let me know your thoughts, but I'll leave links to it underneath the video. We just got news from Paraguay that they're going to sell excess hydro energy to Bitcoin miners as part of its new economic development strategy. Paraguay's Itaipu hydropower is one of the world's largest, yet only 20% of the generated power is used. This is the really interesting thing about Bitcoin mining. You basically take the power that no one else wants. And why does that happen? Well, it's cheaper. It's pretty much free. Some places give you free power. Some places they just give it to you at a very steep discount. And that makes it so that the Bitcoin miners are much more competitive with each other, right? Because they're all looking for the cheapest power. That gives countries that may not have any reason to use power or use the excess power, it gives them a way to monetize that power. It can help them build, right? Like for example, the Bitcoin miner that comes in here, or the Bitcoin miners, they might say, hey, we don't want to even pay you for your electricity, but we will help you with all repairs to the dam or something like that. And we will pay taxes or whatever it is. They could give extra jobs. It basically just monetizes the power that no one wants. So a lot of people think that Bitcoin is destroying the world, but it's not, right? It can actually help communities. It can help use extra power that no one wants. It's not like people are going and making the price higher in New York City by there just being a ton of Bitcoin miners everywhere. No, it wouldn't make sense in New York City. It doesn't make sense in places where electricity costs a lot. So you get places like this that have a lot of Bitcoin miners move in. Texas, same thing. Like they can also be the first buyers of electricity, which can bring power to new areas or increase the power in areas that wouldn't otherwise have enough revenue generated to make it make sense. So this is cool. This is cool news. GME, this was a wild ride last week. I watched the live stream on Friday. I actually live streamed on my channel too. Roaring Kitty went from a billionaire or just short of a billionaire to worth probably 250 mil, something like that. This is going to be fun to watch this week too. I don't hold any shares of GME or AMC or anything like that, but I still like watching this because this ride that they're going on is, first of all, it's just fun to watch from the sidelines. Second of all, I think the GameStop and the AMC movement does kind of mirror Bitcoin in that there are institutions that are taking advantage of people. They are controlling things. They're manipulating the stock price. And people have banded together and said, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. Now, I think that's like the underlying thesis. But then there's also all the degens on top of that. I do think there's a similarity, though, with Bitcoin, where there are all these people that banded together saying that the governments are manipulating us, they're stealing from us. We're not going to allow that to happen. Created our own sovereign form of currency where you can control it. And yeah, F everyone else, get on board or you're going to get left in the dust. That's kind of how I see it. It does mirror Bitcoin. It's not exactly the same thing by any means, but I want to continue to watch this. I hope the people make a lot of money. They're in GameStop. Speaking of kind of these like meme stocks, meme tokens, FJB, talked about this yesterday, did a massive run. Like it went up 125%, something like that. If you look from just 3 days ago, it did a 6x. Okay, now it's consolidating. Pretty bullish here. I mean, it fell after hitting the new all-time high, a $5-6 million market cap, right around there. Came down to a support level that was about the same as the prior resistance level, then bounced up. So yeah, I bought more yesterday. I said that in yesterday's video, but looking pretty bullish there, consolidating around 4.5 million right now. Of course, this is a meme coin. Be clear, this could go down to zero. But they did say once FJB hits $5 million market cap, we begin conversations with Bitmart Exchange for our centralized exchange listing. And I said, yeah, at 4.25 now, they're spin distance away from getting millions of new potential buyers. And yeah, they hit 5 million. So it'll be interesting to watch. They said that they're going to go multi-chain at 10 million. So yeah, the next goal, reclaim 5 million, then move up 6, 7, 8, 9, and then go multi-chain. Interesting to watch. And then something I looked it up myself. There's no news about this today, but I was just wondering, how much do people spend on lottery tickets? Okay, I don't know why this popped in my head. I think I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw someone say something about lotto tickets. Consumers each spend an average of about $86 a month on lotto tickets. This is from 2019, so it could very well be higher now, but $86 a month, let's call it $1,000 a year. That's an insane amount. And unfortunately, it is more prevalent with lower income individuals. But $1,000 a year, that's just money wasted. And I was thinking, what if you put that $1,000 into Bitcoin? Well, if you started 10 years ago, you'd have 8.43 Bitcoin. Holy cow. Spending only about $10,000, you would have a value of about $585,000, taking you out of poverty and into, I'd say, the upper class in terms of net worth. Maybe upper middle class, but if you look at the averages for different net worth ages, like this would be higher than just about every age group. So we'll call it upper middle class in terms of net worth, depending on your age. But that's a significant amount of money. And even if you said, well, what are the chances you bought in 2014? Okay, let's say you started buying at the very peak of the market or right before the very peak of the market in 2017. I think a lot of us, we were hearing about Bitcoin right around then. Well, you'd have $45,000. So you'd still have, 2/3 of Bitcoin. If you want to hit whole coiner status, all you have to do is not waste money on lotto tickets. And then let's say you put in another, one of every 2 months, you don't go out for dinner. So you save, let's call it $100 over every 2 months. So $50 a month. So let's say 136, calculate there, you hit whole coiner status. Now you might be saying, well, that's great, but I can't do anything about that now, right? I can't go 7 years in the past. Okay, but you can start making small cuts now to be able to buy more Bitcoin. I know we talk about whole coiner status a lot, hitting 1 Bitcoin, but in 5 years, 10 years, People might just be shooting for 0.1 Bitcoin. 0.1 Bitcoin might be worth $70,000. So yeah, maybe consider cutting back a little bit and buying a little bit of crypto if you're spending more than you need to. Of course, I do think it's important to enjoy yourself. There's only so much time on this earth, so make sure that you enjoy it and have fun with loved ones and spend time with them. But it is something interesting to think about and something interesting to consider, just cutting back on things that you don't really care about that much to be able to buy some more Bitcoin. Let me know your thoughts. There are also links underneath the video, as I said, to BCC and to Margex. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be really fun. See you in the next one.